Mandla, Wetu. Greeting fellow students, comrades, and everyone who's watching. This is SASCO EC branch. Okhulumayo Sfundo Mchunu. Olida BC as the political commissar. Ngimlapha no treasurer of the branch, comrade Pretty. Mastol. Kanjalo ngimna no deputy chairperson where NC Youth League EC Peter Mdab branch. We are very much grateful to be given this opportunity to at least speak to you, SASCO, and also the challenges that are confronted by students. Number one should know, we should define firstly maybe SASCO. SASCO is South African Students Congress, which was formed in 1991 to champion issues that relate to students and also to go abroad even to the society, because SASCO recognizes in its constitution that before we become students, we are members of the society. Since we are here at the university, we are here to attain our degree or to be equipped in terms of skills and so forth, so that we can make our country better or contribute to the societies that we come from. So the mighty SASCO, it's the biggest institution or it's the biggest organization in the entire continent. So let me focus on EC. Here in EC we are facing a number of issues. By the way, SASCO was leading last year. Now we are being led by this the opposition, the new kid in the block, FFSC, which is failing, by the way, to deliver to students in many ways. But I'm not here to speak about their failures, but I will speak about what SASCO done. As you see, this chaos is due to the unfriendly bus shuttle that was introduced by this current SRC we have. Students will have to wake up at 6 a.m. at the morning so that they can take the bus at 6:30 to come to school, as if they are workers. So it's all those things, and if they are writing exams, they are back-to-back examinations. They have no time to study, so everything is not in order. One of the crucial issues, before I outline a number of issues, is the issue of Tenet that I want to speak about, the issue of the direct payment of NSFAS. This method has defunded a number of students, erroneously so or wrongfully so. So it was approved by the SRC. We are very much aware. We know that the negotiations started prior while we were still leading. But our cry is that we haven't seen any communique from the SRC, any official statement outlining issues that are pertaining this thing of direct payment. As well, I can still remember very vividly, Comrade Ntombela, when this payment, the first payment, when was part to be given out to students, the first rollout, they said we are going to receive, it was 30 July. And in that very day, the residences were about to close. And they promised to go on the 30, it's June or July? June, 30 June. The money didn't come in due time. Students were escorted, they had to move out from residences because that was the date of the residences to be closed. So they didn't receive their money on that very day. They were stranded outside the residences. Some of them, they literally cried because they didn't have money to go back home due to this Tenet issue, which is so inefficient. One must raise this. We don't have a problem with this thing of direct payment if it is efficient and if it is student friendly. The cry is it has exorbitant or extremely expensive charges. This card, if you have to transfer your money from this thing that's in a tech to actual account, Capitec, it could be Standard Bank or what, 20 rand to mention a few incidences. And also, the money does not come on time. We were promised yesterday that we are going to be paid, but till now, we have been received our money. So there's a number of inefficiencies regarding this Tenet issue. And it is a national crisis because across all institutions, they are facing the very same issue. So we defy this thing because it is premature. It is not it is not well capacitated to cater for the number of students because students are very many. We are speaking about millions and millions of students across the country. So they should postpone it, by the way, in our view, and start it afresh next year, whereby they've managed their capacity, whereby they've dealt thoroughly with their inefficiencies, incompetence, train members. I can still remember very vividly even the people that they were deployed by them to come here and assist us in this very campus. They didn't know what to tell students. They contradict themselves, and there was an issue of students who were underaged, and they couldn't receive their income because simply they're underage. It's whose fault that you passed early your matric results and you can't receive your money because you are 17. So there were delays, serious delays. There's this guy called Innocent, which was an agent from Tenet. I went to the guy with a number of students who were underage, and Nyambos, who was their supervisor. They were so incompetent, all of them. It's like people who were taken from the street and say, no, quick, let us deal with this thing. So they are not organized, they are not professional. So when I came to the guy Nyambos and Innocent, these are agents from the Tenet that they were deployed here at UKZN, Edgewood particularly, to hand over the physical card of NSFAS. Students were crying literal, and he did not care and say, no, what we are going to do, because we are saying we are going to look into the issue. You must anticipate yourself for the number of challenges. I'm the victim, by the way, from the horse's mouth. I only received my money this week because I had a problem of an ID. I was receiving my money throughout. When this thing came, my payment stopped, and I had to live without payment for 3 months. So it's all those things. This is the most critical issue that we want to raise regarding the Tenet issue. And the SRC we have, it does not unpack issues on students. It does not deliver. They're silent. We're having a silent SRC, a useless kind of an SRC. They're deep in slumber. They're sleeping. That's why we're telling them this coming SRC, that SRC election, that they must wake up and smell the coffee, because the time is now that they must be removed from that office because they failed. To this day, they've never initiated a single program for students. What they did, they just called the prayer and called Jumbo, and they gave students a water to drink. Students went back to their respective residences hungry in their stomachs. What kind of an SRC is that? SASCO last year by June organized a serious event in recognition of the LGBTQI plus family. We said we must have a pride walk, which was very much resourced. Students had refreshments. In this very year, SASCO convened a serious program under the banner of SATU Student Chapter, Our Allies, as the PYA. We convened a banner because this is a campus only for educators. It is specialized for educators. So we called all relevant people. We called Noma Rashia, the secretary of SATU in the province. We called an the NEC member of SATU Student Chapter. We called SACE, people from SACE. We called people from the Department of Education to come and give enlightenment regarding the profession that we chose, the discipline of teaching, the DPED. So they came here and unpacked all relevant issues, and they were we gave students petrol. They ate, and they went back home full in their stomachs. So that's what SASCO does. SASCO provides enlightenment. SASCO provides, it is an intellectual hub for students. It provides relevant knowledge that is necessary at that particular time. As we are speaking now, a number of students are unable, number of students are able to print their respective lesson plans for file, for portfolio evidence, for teaching practice, which is due today before 1. It should all, but the printers are not working. So it's all those issues we are raising in the midst of this SRC, in the reign of the current NSIC. these issues are happening. They have said nothing. Students, there are long queues here. Some of them that are crying, they want this thing to be postponed because the printers are not working. The SRC is quiet. What else? There's a number of issues that the SRC is failing to deal with because we don't have proximity, because we don't want to sound as if we're rubbishing the SRC because it is led by the opposition. No, that's not the issue. SASCO has not the proximity to be heard from the management. That's why whenever we're writing emails to the management, we are told to liaise with the SRC. We're writing emails, students, they know, they can see in our social media platforms what we are doing. It is us who requested data from the relevant stakeholders. We wrote emails up until the institution responded. The SRC was quiet. It is us who requested data, particularly also for students who are doing ETP in their homes. There's a number of pending issues that the current SRC is failing to solve. The thing, they are not even writing anything. To this day, ever since they've assumed office, they've never released even a single official statement as the SRC. What kind of an SRC is that? If you can check last year, each and every day, SASCO regularly, so SASCO will issue statements, SASCO will update students, and not on issuing statement, we acted because we are not discombobulated by English from England, as this popular comrade used to say, but we are concerned about actions. We are going to demonstrate to students, as we have been demonstrating, that SASCO is the only way to go. People should not be confused by what the FF is doing externally. Here we're in the institution, here we're in universities. Students must vote for people who are visible on the ground, who are there to address issues, who are there day in, day out to ensure that resolutions are being taken regarding students' problems. So it will be a pity for students of Edgewood especially to vote again for this silent and useless SRC led by the Red Cockroaches, the FFSC. So it's all those things we are raising as SASCO. I think my fellow comrade may want to add some few things because I become emotional and I speak so fast, so quick. So because these things are very much touching, because seeing students suffering is not an easy thing. There are issues of financial exclusion. The SRC is doing nothing. Now, some students are defunded by this issue of Tenet. More than 800 students. It's 800 or 800,000 or 800 Edgewood particularly 800,000 when we are speaking across the entire institution. So there are no food parcel for those students. We only had food parcels in the university while we were still led by SASCO. Ever since these guys assumed office, there are no food parcel. Even for such an agency issue of students who are wrongfully defunded by the so-called NSFAS, they are not receiving their food parcels. The SRC is doing nothing in that regard to ensure they are able to study well, because you cannot go to class while you are starving. You cannot concentrate while you are hungry. What is it that SRC is doing to ensure that they mitigate these difficulties that the students are confronted with? It's all those things we are raising. That is the reason why we are saying SASCO must come back, SASCO melibuye, win we must. The situation demands. Comrade, say some few things.
Thank you very much, Political Commissar of SASCO EC branch. Speaking in front of you is the Deputy Chairperson of the ANC Youth League EC branch. My name is Andy Lentombela. I would like to add something on the issues that have been articulated by the Political Commissar. Since we are facing many different issues at EC campus, one of the most critical issues that we should be fighting against is the issue of Tenet. Tenet is the issue that almost all students, 85% of those students, were defunded by the system that was introduced by NSFAS, which is the NSFAS direct payments. These NSFAS direct payments are really stressing and frustrating students. More than 20 students came here the past week demanding that their issues should be addressed. And the leaders that we have no power or have no capability of attending those issues. They are busy gallivanting around campus. They are doing exceptionally nothing. Even if we ask from the management some resources or some help, they will just tell us that we should liaise with the SRC, the Student Representative Council, which is led by those guys. So those guys are not doing anything. The following procedure must be followed by writing emails or going straight to the office of the Vice Chancellor of UKZN. But they have never even set a meeting with the Vice Chancellor. There are no records. There are no proceedings that they have followed in ensuring that the student issues are fully addressed at UKZN. UKZN is divided into 5 campuses, and Etude campus is one of those campuses. The faculty that is offered here at Etude campus is the education, which is the Bachelor of Education. So we used to attend the teaching practice as from the 24th of July until the 18th of August. And those students who were defunded by this system of Tenet didn't receive the teaching practice allowance. They had to go to those schools without no proper clothing, without no proper necessary equipment to conduct the teaching practice. So those students, all of them, didn't even receive a cent from the Tenet system or from the institution so that they can be able to conduct their teaching practice. The students have to print these lesson plans, a number of lesson plans, more than 10 lesson plans have to be printed. And to tell you what, you have to spend more than 200 rand to print all those lesson plans, to buy the portfolio of evidence which is defined to ensure that you pass the teaching practice. And if you are defunded by this system, you cannot be able to do that. Many students have suffered during the teaching practice. I think 10% of the students have deregistered from the institution. That is an unforgettable moment whereby a student is coming from a rural area, just the rural area, to the institution of higher learning, and only to find that that student have to deregister, have to go back being poor, having nothing to eat. So those are the issues that we are currently addressing. But every issue that is concerned have a solution. And the solution and the better proper solution is that the students must vote for the South African Student Congress, which is SASCO, to ensure that all those programs, all those proceedings that were happening last year during the term of office of SASCO, they were able there were fundraisings from the various investors or sponsors. I remember very well a number of food parcels were donated by the Gift of Givers here last year. Students can be able to remember that or recall that, and all those students who were residing even on private accommodations, they were able to receive the food parcels. So my message to UKZN students, in particular Etude campus, is that they should ensure that they make the right thing, since there will be SRC elections here at UKZN in these upcoming months. They should ensure that they vote for the organization that they will be able to fight for them. The right thing to do is to vote for the South African Student Congress. I thank you very much.
Lastly, maybe to mention a few achievements of SASCO, what SASCO did during its reign. SASCO was able by force to open a residence where students were stranded. That resident over there, which is called Greenwood Resident, that is one of the achievements of SASCO. Again, SASCO last year when it was leading, it used to take students to go and watch soccer for free, just using their student cards whenever they were playing with Moses Mabhida. Because, academics are so strenuous. You need things that will be sort of entertainment so that you can be able to distress. So we used to take students to stadiums and watch football. We used to take students to Umbuso Amaciko and also other events that are proper. By the way, very close we'll be having Umbuso Amaciko. Normally under the reign of SASCO, we'll take students there and celebrate the culture, the heritage. Kuzane will be there. All those Maskandi celebrities will take students, and some of them they even participate there through us as SASCO. So those are the things we normally used to have. We used to have serious events. We used to call Red Bull to come here and give freely, free of charge students Red Bull. They play games and so forth just to distress. I'm just mentioning some few things in the arena of entertainment only. Regarding academics, our college representative last year, which was Steloguhle Zondo, assisted about 40 students who were financially excluded. We were able to negotiate the exclusion of those students, which was unfair in our view, and we were able to assist a few of them in as much as we failed to assist all of them. But we attempted to assist, and they were assisted. Assessment were postponed. We had study breaks properly. We didn't have back-to-back examinations. Now, as we are speaking, students are writing exams in 3 consecutive days. We don't have the time to study in that way, because if you have written an exam, you must relax and have some time, and you say all those things. So you cannot write exam 3 consecutive days and be expected to excel or to pass extremely well. So it's all those things we are raising. Regarding assessments, regarding tasks that were given, quizzes were postponed in the era of SASCO, considering a number of issues that were there. Students were able to liaise with the college rep and articulate their issues so that they can be. But currently, students are unable to even. There is no period of resubmissions. There's no. If you fail the due date to submit on due date, it's done with you. It cannot be without considering the fundamental facts that led to the student not being submitting. Lastly, I want to raise this message to the entire leadership regarding this thing of direct payment. This thing of direct payment, we perceive it as an exploitation of a serious order. These people are making profit at the expense of students in our views. These are just mere companies who were just employed simply to make money at the expense of students. If you are saying we are giving 350 each to people, then you tax that people those 350, and it comes to them about 300. You have took already there 50 rands. It cannot be that these people are making money. You should not be charged as students. It should not, because there are these assumptions that students, they spend their money wrongly, they buy alcohol and so forth. These students are qualifying. If you are academically in good standing, therefore no one should dictate what should you do in your life. Why is it that they want to sink in students' life? They said that they misuse their funds while they are deserving. What is important, that students, they pass, and they pass well. That's what is necessary, that's what is required. So this is the message we are sending to the entire government, that they must reconsider this thing of direct payments, because it's exploitative to the students. They are making profit at the detriment of the students. It cannot be that the children of the working class, because we come from the dust rural areas, we're coming from the poor backgrounds. Some of us are even breadwinners at their home using this very NSFAS. So it cannot be. They must relook in this thing of direct payment and ensure that they capacitate themselves, they deal with their incompetence, they train their people, they deal with their inefficiency, so that students will receive their money in time. We have never had such problems when we're still receiving our money in our respective accounts, Capitex, Standard Bank, and so we never had such. Even the university, if we is not going to give the money in the set date, they will send an email prior to say you are no longer going to receive, e.g., your money on the 1st of September, but it will be the 4th, due to 1 and 2 and 3. But now you wake up, you expect your money, there's no money, surprisingly, and you have already budgeted. So it's all those things which we find very hurting to students are very saddening to be confronted with such issues. Lastly, students of agehood, we are all urged to demonstrate that you are tired of being ill-treated by people who do not care. You were facing problems throughout regarding the issue of NSFAS direct payment. No one in the SRC who was elected by you to represent you, who have taken a stand to defy this thing. No one in the current SRC who have said anything regarding this issue. It is only SASCO who has been at the forefront of this thing. In the very first day, it is us. I was present myself at Westville when they came. We wanted enlightenment regarding this issue. We wanted clearance, but they said no, we are going to receive issue cards only. How you are going to use something that you do not know how it operates? This thing is very much disorderly, because in order to access your money, you must have data to go to that app. How is that? It cannot be. So that is the thing we are raising. Come October, students must vote for SASCO. SASCO is the only way to go. SASCO has been here demonstrating that it is capable to lead students, and we have led very well. As I've mentioned, our successes throughout. If you compare the current SRC and the previous SRC, there's a serious gap between the two. You know why? These boys, what they know is only to shout, because you cannot resolve student issue by saying students are suffering and walk out here. Kuzamanda. You must understand governance. You must understand the management, how it operates, because shouting around here and burning properties will not assist us. We need proper representation. These people, they sit in the Senate. These people, they sit in convocation. They sit in all relevant structures of the university, but hence they do nothing regarding the university. The management is at ease with these guys because they don't know how to negotiate, because it's different being politically clear and governing or being in governance. Those are two different things. We must understand. Knowing Karl Marx and knowing Leninism and Fanon, that does not say that you are going to deliver there. You must be able you must have the capacity to understand the processes of the management. You must understand the university statute. You must understand the policies of all these departments within the university. Knowing Karl Marx and Fanon won't assist us. What will assist us is that you must solve the issues of that are pertaining students through correct channels that are there outlined by the institution. Those are the things we want to raise. These great cockroaches, they just banned another institution there at Pietermaritzburg because that's what they do best. They fail to deliver. And say, thank you very much, comrades. Buya SASCO, buya! Buya SASCO, buya! Silwele SASCO asnabani silwele! Mandla! Thank you very much.